What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with a Friday edition of MLB Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised of our great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Pretty frustrating stuff happening here on Friday. I mean, I ended up getting all the closing line value and all the land on the under of 8.5 that gets ballistically beat up by Bailey Ober being awful. 6 home runs there by Texas. Nice job. Good job. Good effort. We also had tons of closing line value in the premium Discord on Parker Meadows props, which again, they were just quarter unit each, but unbelievable stuff to have him hit a home run going from the 1 hole to the 9 hole. It was unbelievable. So sometimes CLV is not going to pay your bills, but CLV over a long-term sample size is going to win the day. And we had tons of it, even with Tariq Skubal, who doesn't go over 6.5 strikeouts. All we needed was the 7. He closed at 8.5. So brutal stuff. And in 7 innings pitched, very clean there against Baltimore, but didn't get the swing and miss that we needed. Got squeezed a ton, but you know, umpires are what they are. Robots send in the fembots, but producer Jacob, we're going to send him in here for today on Friday. I'm excited. You're excited. We're all excited. We're going to do things like we always do. Leans into the likes section. And I've got 5 plays on the card for you tomorrow. I feel really good about all of them. And 3 of them are going to look very similar. It's going to be wild times in the premium Discord tomorrow because tons more props coming your way. Felt good about the ones that we threw out there today. Got the CLV we were looking for. Just didn't convert everything. We'll see how Pascantino and Jack Jams end up finishing out here on the evening on Thursday. Maybe we can get the Volpe home run that we're looking for. But without further ado, friends, it's time. Leans. Let's get to the picks. Producer Jacob has to deal with me. I feel bad about that. We're gonna, F it. We'll do it live. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. He knows what I'm talking about. Pittsburgh taking on Chicago. This is an afternoon in Wrigley because there are just certain parameters in Chicago about them doing late night games apparently or something. Just can't ever do it. Cool. Awesome. Awesome. Oh yeah, Paul Skeens is pitching. He's pretty good at baseball, and yet I'm looking at the over here purely because I do think Pittsburgh has enough ammunition in the kitchen to get going against a Cade Horton, who 12.4% barrel percentage, 271 expected batting average, and better hitting weather than we've had in recent weeks here in Wrigley. I mean, we've had the wind blowing out at the beginning of May, middle of May, into just some wind blowing in situations. Looks a little bit better here, but Paul Skeens, yeah, he's going to keep me away from betting this, even though the data, it's kind of on the fringe of playable over 7.5, but it's the best available that I've got for you right now. This is a wild game environment. Toronto against Philly, and I think both pitchers, Kevin Gausman and Ranger Suarez, have their positives. First off, Kevin Gausman, much better this season, 24.2% K rate, only the 5.6% barrel percentage, but 16-degree launch angle, nice weather in a hitter's ballpark, 9.5% barrel percentage. I think that there's Phillies props entertained, but Ranger Suarez has been lights out. But it looks like the wind's going to be blowing out to left a little bit. Now, that can change on a dime here in Philly. Again, it's the second most wind-affected stadium next to Wrigley Field in baseball. Just sits there by the harbor, and ships come in and out. And my ex-girlfriend just like lives her life by the seaboard, and I love my wife. Anyway, Alejandro Kirk, friends, we do like what he's been doing. And from the right side, hits a little bit better average, 55.8% hard hit, 93-degree, I mean, just unbelievable things, 93 mile per hour, exit velocity off the bat. From the right side, ridiculous numbers. I think against a lefty, I might entertain it. But Logan O'Hoppe looks even better. I just never know if he's going to be in the lineup anymore. Travis d'Arnaud has been hitting, and I do know everybody on the Angels is tradable. Everybody wearing an Angels jersey is tradable at the deadline. Everybody. Joe Adele, go somewhere. Be free. I love you so much. And now he's hitting, and I haven't even bet him once, which is just wild. Anyway, Ellie De La Cruz, 2+ bases. A lot of real estate out there in Detroit. Running out of real estate. That's a good song. But we've got lots to pay attention to because Nick Martinez is going to be starting. I think Montero gets the start, but Tariq Skubal pitched a lot of innings really, really clean. I think that there's a lot of ways that we end up having some great opportunities to get O'Hoppe, Neto, Ward, Trout, lots of these dudes against Baltimore Orioles because Charlie Morton, this might be his last start. Jack Hockenau, not exactly somebody I'm scared of either. I think hitter props are going to look ridiculous in this game, and I'm worried that they get nuked, and that's why there is not going to be one in the light category yet. But also De La Cruz, we were talking about him, 2+ bases. And I just kind of like merged the analysis. Don't worry, I'm doing okay. Producer Jacob, just hit the next slide. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Yarborough, K-Ladder. I'm nervous. Again, really good hitting weather. The theme of all of these leans is how good I think props are going to look, and we want to jump on them at open. And, well, my wife's in New York, so you best know I'm going to be staying up late, way into the wee hours. I love my wife. But Yarborough, K-Ladder, definitely something that you should have on your radar. He got completely torched, lit up. Terrible stuff last time out, and not a whole lot that I could do about it. But Garrett Crochet on the other side, both of these guys have like auspiciously good hard hit numbers, xwOBAs, barrel percentages. Yarborough's is actually better, but the strikeout rate obviously towards Crochet, 31.3% relative to 23.1 for Yarborough. Yarborough's the more playable of the two, especially when you have like Rafaela at 20% as the most strikeout immune righty that's going to be showing up at that lineup tomorrow. Ooh, darling. That's going to be freaky. Holmes, Clay Holmes, he's been routinely over projected, I would say, by the marketplace. I just want to have it on your radar because I do have a flag in my Excel spreadsheet saying, hey, by the way, he keeps opening up around 5.5, and against Tampa Bay, he might end up a little bit higher there. And if it ends up 6.5 or 5.5 with plus money on that under, we should definitely entertain it. I know Meisner, Morel, Caballero, there's lots of strikeout bats that you have to know what that lineup's going to look like ahead of time. So it might just be, F it, we'll do it live. Adrian Hauser getting hosed. Ooh, question mark. We don't know. White Sox taking on the Rangers, and the Rangers just decided to go ballistic. 2 like 14-plus run outings against my Twins in 3 games. Congratulations, Minnesota. You played yourself. But this is definitely a spot where Adrian Hauser should suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. To die, to sleep, no more. Shakespeare, anyone? Anyway, the A's taking on Kansas City. Vinny Pasquantino ended up on the radar for me and then ended up on the card on Thursday, along with Jack Jams. I'm hoping both of them go over their 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. And he had a great split there against Warren. And against Severino, I'm very curious to see where opening numbers are on those two lefties. Again, getting Jack Jams into the rotation, Caglione, for people who aren't aware, he is definitely somebody that I think hits the ball really hard. Just got to work on that loft thing. We got to loft it. We don't want to hit ground balls into second baseman and shortstops the entire time. He pretty much pulls the baseball all the time. Not a great ballpark for it there in Kansas City, but Pasquantino, he does a little bit of everything. I'm very interested, as you should be. Rounding it all out for us, we got under 6.5. This number is offshore at the moment, under 6.5. You got Gavin Williams, Luis Castillo. I'm not a huge Luis Castillo guy. I'm also going to give enough respect to the Seattle Mariners offense that they can do a little bit of something here from the left side of the plate against Williams. Now, his strikeout rate has been up, and we don't even have confirmation that it's going to be Luis Castillo, and yet this number is there. That's why I'm overriding this. I really don't have any interest in trying to short that entire ball game. Yes, it's a very run-immune ballpark, but I think we got better that are coming up for us. We got a lot of, well, I'm not going to even say it. One more under that's kind of interesting, Logan Webb versus Yamamoto. Yamamoto's my boy, but San Francisco getting out of Coors. There's a lot that can potentially go into that. I do think you have equity in like 0 or 1 runs under team total for San Francisco. I don't know if it exists as much against Logan Webb here, who has had some really good results against the Dodgers. Not so much in Dodger Stadium. So you get some power lefties. You get a shorter porch out to right. I get nervous. Really good hitting weather there in LA. Otherwise, this would probably be a play on the under 7.5. Alrighty, you want to get all the plays. Lindy 5 is how you do it. Go to the video description box below. You click on, hey, I want to join the premium Discord where there are a lot of sharp people talking about a lot of sharp things. And Eric will get CLV from time to time, like he did all of Wednesday, all of Thursday, and get punished for no reason after 8 consecutive winning days. But you know what? Those days, it's summer. It's post-Memorial Day, Lindy, and Lindy can get you some money. Why am I talking about myself in the third person? I don't know, but I do know that the premium Discord is just $5 for your first week. So sign up down at the link below. Would love to have you guys in there. It's baseball the live long day. And you know what? I'll give you an NBA play on the way. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm still mad at Miles Turner for being sick. That did not go well. All right, Lindy 5, guys. To the likes we go. We begin our tour with Miami and Washington, and these are the battles of who could care less. Although Washington been functional and offensively, you saw it in Arizona. You saw it at times, not in the Metsies just shut them down there, and I was kind of confused. It was good hitting weather. I mean, a lot of respect in the marketplace towards Mets starting pitching, and I understand why. Best ERA in baseball in the National League. So shout out that. Also had the best ERA through the first month and a half. I think they still do, actually, in the entire league. But this comes down to weather. It's going to be really nice hitting weather yet again in Washington. Kind of been the theme of the year there. And Edward Cabrera, he's giving up a lot of hard contact, despite the fact that he has a 24.3% K rate. But who's he really going to strike out at the top of that lineup outside of Lau and James Wood? Because, like, Ahmed Rosario doesn't strike out. And I'm sure he'll probably be in the back half of this lineup potentially. Alex Call really doesn't strike out, but he's terrible. Jacob Young, Kybert Ruiz. And then you get Josh Bell, who's just been strikeout immune his entire career. Luis Garcia, who we ended up getting some nice closing line value on. And then he finally converted. He converted there in the ninth inning for us against the Mets. So he's on my good side. That's my good side for anybody who cares. But we've definitely got more equity coming in on the Marlins side. 9 guaranteed innings from a prop perspective. Mitchell Parker and his 50% hard hit, 15-degree launch angle, and sub 16% K rate. If you don't strike out these Marlins, they've got guys who will make you pay $50 every day. My mom told me to pick the over of 9. That will be a common theme here, friends. Over 9, minus 105 at Caesars. Good start to the card. Colorado taking on ATL, where the players play, and we ride on them things like every day. Now, Colorado has a plus 1.5 next to their name there, and it is definitely something you should entertain, or you're not entertained, but there are 2.5s with a little bit of vig going up there. So when we're talking minus 120, minus 130, you have to be inside of that. Like, I mean, you gotta move that expected win percentage up, north of that 54, 55% expected win percentage people are looking for and aiming for when it's minus 110 every single side. Of course, Pete Armstrong just hits a bomb. Just hits an absolute bomb against Andrew Heaney. Second one against Andrew Heaney this season. That's wild. But also wild, Bryce Elder's a minus 300 favorite. Bryce Elder, I get it. The Rockies, they had come from behind fashion, and we're getting them out of Coors, and everything I just said about San Francisco during the lean section, it applies even more so to Colorado, but Colorado has more experience of like leaving Coors Field and watching a ball break more. But my thing is Bryce Elder, whether you're playing baseball on the moon or in a dirt like field sandlot style, he should never be a minus 300 favorite unless he has just the Monstars, which Atlanta has power, but German Marquez is going to be pitching outside of Coors Field. And every single pitcher has these splits, has these massive home road splits when it comes to pitching at Coors Field because it's the most advantageous hitter's park in baseball. That is not the case here in ATL. In fact, it definitely helps him out knowing that some of these righties, again, he's not good this season. 1.86 whip against lefties, 1.52 whip against righties, but it makes me feel better that we're getting 2.5 to find out. Minus 130 at ESPN. It's already been posted in the premium Discord. Colorado plus 2.5. My numbers love this. I think they have enough against Elder that this should never be the case. 9 total's a little extreme, but Colorado keeps it close. That's all that we need. Speaking of not keeping it close, Minnesota taking on Houston. Thanks a lot, guys. Way to go. Great job. Good effort. Bailey Ober. I mean, I've been giving trash to Bailey Ober all the time, but the weather, well, it wasn't that bad, obviously. It didn't end up as bad as projected in the models, and that ended up punishing me. But, you know, you make these plays, and I knew I didn't like Bailey Ober, and I knew it was an inflated number, and we got closing line value, but whatever. Let's talk about today, shall we? We got ourselves an opportunity to get the Crawford boxes for some pull hitters. And I want to give a shout out to somebody that I think is just, well, thank God he stayed healthy. And I can't believe we kept him in a 10-run game today, but Royce Lewis. It's been a brutal season for him by all metrics. He gets hurt in spring training. He has 1 home run. He's hitting 189 now on the year with a 263 slugging. But you get a short porch to left now against a lefty in Colton Gordon, who has a 260 expected batting average, has a decent enough strikeout arsenal, but I don't think he's going to be able to hang with a guy like Byron Buxton, a guy like Royce Lewis. I think both of them, if they make contact on Gordon, it is going very high and very far. And he has 1 home run the year for Royce Lewis. Yeah, he missed the first month plus of the season, but it's still an outlier. He's going to positively regress with his numbers, with his hard hit numbers. 42.1% hard hit, 437 expected slugging, one of the unluckiest, if not the unluckiest hitter in baseball. Hasn't been on the card all year. And we're going to bet his home run. Welcome to Houston, where it is nice to be a pull hitter with a short porch to left, like a very, very short porch to left. Calling his shot. I'll do a second AP. Second AP for Royce Lewis. And Lindy 1. Lindy 1 down at the video description box below, friends, will get you Portfolio EV for 2 weeks completely free to you. Now, what is Portfolio EV, you ask? Well, it's market-based betting. It is identifying the best bets on a market-based approach, comparing short sports books to those in the more public sports books, the DraftKings, the FanDuels, everything of that nature, although FanDuel getting sharper by the day. They've been sharper for about the last year and a half, if we're going to be honest. But Lindy 1, friends, that is where you can take advantage in the video description box below. You go to that first link that exists up there, check out Portfolio EV, and get yourself 2 weeks completely free when you use code Lindy1. Sound great? Cool. Great, grand. 2 more plays. Let's get to them. And hit that like button for me. Again, they're not all going to be winning days. That's not the goal. The goal, well, yeah, it is. The goal is to have all winning days. You ain't first, you're last. Ricky Bobby taught me that. Actually, Ricky Bobby's dad taught me that. 10 kilos of Canadian Bam Bam underneath. Mr. Cole's awesome too. St. Louis taking on Milwaukee in this spot. His Mizrachi guy just absolutely throws just filthy heat. Now, ended up on the over of 4.5 strikeouts for him. Ended up cashing. Thank God. That was nice. That was very, very necessary for me. Premium Discord, everybody involved. Talked about him at length yesterday. Fastball Freddy, we know exactly what we're getting into. We know exactly what we're dancing with. He is going to throw it a lot, and there are a lot of lefties who are going to make him pay if it's not perfect. Now, Freddie Peralta has been great this year. 24.5% K rate, 34.5% hard hit, but Eric Fetty on the other side surely has not been. 367 xWOBA, sub 15% K rate, and Milwaukee, while they're not the best lineup, they got Christian Yelich back. They have the opportunity to roll out a Jake Bauers on days that they want to roll out Jake Bauers, who was cleanup, and then Yelich comes back and Bauers gets a day off. It's just weird how this works. But Fetty, he's routinely been an over guy for us, and I don't understand this opening number. 7.5 in a game that Eric Fetty is pitching in? Milwaukee might get there by themselves. I mean, we need like 1 or 2 off of Freddie. We need maybe 1 or 2 off of the pen, and then you're going to have Milwaukee do the rest of the legwork for us here. So over 7.5, minus 112 over at DK. Almost had a hiccup and almost coughed at the same time. Now I'm going to sneeze. Let's put the over down here. And our last play of the evening, San Diego taking on Arizona. I said there was a theme to some things. We have an over in Miami and Washington. We have an over in St. Louis and Milwaukee. And we have a over in Arizona. San Diego and Arizona. Ryan Nelson versus Stephen Kolek. And we have only a 9 total? I have this at 10.5. What am I missing here? Stephen Kolek, he has no strikeout arsenal. He has a 48.8% hard hit. He's going to have to face just a slew of good hitters within that Arizona lineup, and specifically against righties. You look at some of their numbers that they've had on the season. 3rd best WRC plus, 125 WRC plus, 20.7% K rate. Have no clue how you could potentially put this at 9. Unless you're German. In which case that would mean no. 9. Give me the over. Oh yeah, Ryan Nelson's terrible too. All right, let's get out of here. Happy weekend, everybody. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely slate we have before us here. Lindy 5, if you guys want to jump into the Discord, so many new faces. Love to see it. And obviously, we have a really good track record over the course of the last couple of weeks. It's been insane until Wednesday, Thursday. A little bit of hiccups. We've been fighting it. We've been fighting back. Again, the NBA on Wednesday, it was whatever. But shout out Indy. That was beautiful to watch. Alex Caruso continues to knock down threes. However, a little bit of an inflated line. Might be taking his under 1.5 threes for anybody who's interested in a little preview of what might show up in the premium Discord. I know people don't like their unders, but we'll see how things progress here. Going to be an awesome game 4. Can't wait to watch it, but don't want to give you half-ass analysis. So we're going to stay away from that for sure. But Lindy 5, jumping in the premium Discord, I'm sure there'll be some prize picks, some underdog, some pick six. Fired up here as well for that lovely game 4. Thank you, producer Jacob. Another week in the books. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Friday.